this morning. My name is Allie. I am the 10:30 speaker this morning. Normally, like Gary said, there's someone that does introductions. He's like, can you just do your own? I'm like, absolutely. I will make it one sentence and it will be great. So my name is Allie Fitzpatrick. I am I like to say a trauma-based transformational spiritual life coach, mindset manifestation coach, astrologer, brain spotting practitioner, Kundalini yoga and meditation teacher, and sound healer. I do different types of events here at Lake Harriet and all around the cities, as well as different coachings, one-on-one, in groups, and I think my favorite and my babies are my astrology readings and a new modality I have just added is brain spotting. And what I like to say I do is, just like Carl Jung's quote of helping to make the unconscious conscious, right? Which is what we're gonna dive into today with the shadow and with others as the mirror. I do that same thing in my coaching and in every single thing that I put out. We really work with safety. We work with regulating the nervous system. We work with subconscious reprogramming and rewiring. And all of those things just help us to feel confident and safe enough to step into the life, the identity, and who we are in this lifetime to really become. Because oftentimes, our shadows, whether we you know what? It's not just the shadow, it's the light as well. So these patterns within us, they tend to drive subconsciously and unconsciously every single decision, every single relationship, even opportunities that come in. And when we're not aware, that's when it's those inner parts that are driving the bus. And so much of the work I do and what I'm so passionate about in this lifetime is being able to make the unconscious conscious. And then the best part is we get to choose. So before we jump in even more, I want to read one quick quote by Carl Jung, and then I want to do just a gentle 5 or so minute meditation, a little bit of grounding, and then a really beautiful meditation. So I don't think I butchered it, but the quote I was saying before by Carl Jung is, until we make the unconscious conscious, it will direct our lives and we will call it fate. So just letting that land, until we make the unconscious conscious, it will direct our whole lives, and then we will call it fate. So we're gonna explore that a little bit today. All right, Gary, could you start the music? All right, so in your own time, this will just be a couple minutes. You don't have to close your eyes. You get to choose. This is your time too. And if it feels okay, in your own time, maybe letting your eyes close down. Maybe letting your nervous system exhale and taking a nice big full body breath. And just noticing. Noticing what is most alive and present for you right now. In this moment. Whether it's a feeling, a thought, physical sensation, whatever it is, simply allowing yourself to be with that. Maybe even taking a nice big deep inhalation, breathing into that space, and maybe allowing yourself to create a little bit more space on the inside. And in your own time, gently letting your awareness start to drift and fall right on the heart space. And noticing what this activates within you. Simply bringing awareness here. Does they feel tight, constricting, maybe peaceful or expansive. Just allowing and being. And from this place, I want to invite you to, in your mind's eye, visualize someone right now who has activated a really strong emotional charge, whether it's negative, whether it's positive, aka someone that's really triggered you. And just bringing them into your mind's eye, and maybe what about them or the circumstance or the situation triggered you or activated you. And as you really lock into this experience, maybe asking your heart, your higher self, what is this person or this quality, this trait showing me about me? What are they mirroring back to me? And just allowing whatever wants to come up to come up. Maybe asking, what might I be projecting onto them? They hurt me. I'm right, they're wrong. Oh my gosh, they're so wonderful. I'm putting them on such a pedestal right now. What might you be projecting? And then maybe lastly, asking internally, what are they helping me to remember or to reclaim about me? What are they helping me to reclaim within me? How am I them and they me? Letting yourself simply be and breathe, opening your somatic body up to whatever is wanting to come through, whatever awareness. And maybe allowing that thought to even come through of, you are just me. You're a part of me. This last part, maybe even thanking them, if that feels okay and if that feels safe for you. Or simply thanking the experience. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for showing me. I'm so grateful. Because now I get to choose. So let's take one more collective breath here, breathing in whatever has been coming up. And with your exhalation, letting that go. And in your own time, gently blinking back, open the eyes, coming back to the space, and taking another moment to simply be present here with this new awareness. Maybe it's not new awareness. And another quote of Carl Jung's that he said is, every person we meet is a mirror of our pain, of our patterns, of our potential, or of our path to wholeness. And so every time, you can turn the music off, Gary. Thank you. So every time I personally get triggered or I get activated, because I'm human too, right? Great example, I think I maybe get frustrated on the road maybe once a month. Like, I've worked really hard and I have a pretty big tolerance. But yesterday I was out doing errands at like 8:30 a.m. and there was a car, and I have certain judgments of my own that I notice with different drivers, with different cars. I was like, of course they wouldn't let me in. That's so inconsiderate, of course. And I immediately stopped and was like, okay, inconsiderate. Let me check that, because there's something within me that needs to get integrated and that wants to get integrated with this energy of being inconsiderate. And then what happened? 2 hours later, my family came to visit, but they were late by like an hour and they didn't tell me, and I had bookmarked this chunk of time for them. And so I got really frustrated and I shared that with my dad. I was like, Dad, I totally empathize, I have compassion, but like, listen, that feels really inconsiderate and disrespectful that there wasn't even communication about this. Right? My own pattern within me, which is so, well, I don't know, for me, I'm like, oh my God, it's all so fascinating, right? Like this place that I now get to choose to learn and to grow through. And so when I was asked initially, I don't think I'm standing in for someone that couldn't, but when Gary first mentioned the theme of this month and the theme that I was being asked to speak on, I got really, really excited on the inside, because it feels like my whole life up until this point feels like a case study in the shadow, in Jungian work, and potentially even in like quantum physics and manifestation. Because, right, when we think of the other as a mirror, a sacred mirror, right? Every single interaction we have with another, whether it is a positive light, right? Like, we all have those people where we get drawn to them instantly, which is typically a reflection of the light within us, right? Pieces that we've already synthesized, and then we get magnetically drawn, and we're like, yes, our frequency, right? We are all just matter and we all vibrate. So our frequency is being drawn to that person. And then the same is true on the opposite end, right? We all have those people where sometimes we have like a gut reaction or a whole physical, like our whole body. I know, at least for me, it gets this constriction of, I meet someone and I'm like, oof, I don't know what's going on, but there's definitely something here. And that's typically not a conscious, right? That's typically unconscious, and it's subconscious. And we all have it within ourselves. And so why I was super, super, super excited, and like, oh my gosh, my whole life just feels like a case study, is because the last couple of years, so as an astrologer, the last 10 years, I've studied patterns. I've studied patterns for every single person that has come to me. I have done hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of charts. I have also studied patterns externally, and I've studied patterns internally, right? Like ourselves, we're our greatest case study. And with a couple of really big things that I've spoken about here even, astrologically that were impacting me, that allowed me to go to places within my subconscious and my unconscious that, like, I thought I was good. A few years ago, I'm like, I have done so much healing over the last 12 years, like, what else can there be? And then the planet Pluto came in. I like to thank him now, but he basically upended and he peeled the onion deeper and deeper and deeper into all of this subconscious work from my childhood that involved really, really deep trauma that I didn't even realize was trauma, really deep wounding that then I was able to notice over the last 3 years and pinpoint these patterns that led me to every single partner I have ever chosen. And guess what? These partners were not chosen from light. They were chosen subconsciously from wounding. They were chosen from trauma. And that is the same. It's not just the partners that we choose. However, typically, those are the most intimate relationships that we ever have. And there's a quote by Gabor Mate, and he talks about you're sometimes like really faded and just completely on the same frequency and like the higher frequencies of relationships and marriages. They feel like your wildest dream come true, and at the same time your worst nightmare, because our most intimate relationships are the ones that are meant to mirror those qualities back, right? And I'm sure I'm not the only person, like looking back in retrospect, like I'm guessing we all have dating histories and dating pasts, or even you can think of it as the friends we've chosen. You can think of it as the bosses that we've unconsciously had, right? Like it doesn't just go from, oh, because this happened with my mother, let's say, in childhood, it will only happen with mother figures. The belief is the belief across the board. And so if we're not aware and we're not conscious of the belief, it then transcends. Great, I've done all this work with my mother. Cool. Well, it didn't fully go away, so now it's going to move to a partner. Cool, I've done all this work with partnership. You didn't actually resolve the belief. So then it goes to a boss, or it goes to a friend. And so that's an invitation I would absolutely invite all of us here to, not necessarily in this moment, but just recognizing what might, So noticing patterns or themes in your life that aren't just one specific relationship or friendship. Noticing the patterns underneath it, and then getting a little bit more specific too, and asking, what is that underlying belief? Whether it's, I'm afraid of expressing my needs, I am not good enough, I am not worthy, I have to earn love, I have to caretake, I have to overfunction, right? These are all beautiful places, because it's not the dynamic where you are continually abandoning yourself. Let's use that as an example. It's, why am I abandoning myself? What belief is underneath that? And then we get to start working. I promise I'm gonna get to questions at the end. I'm leaving like 5 to 10 minutes. And so there's all this amazing, amazing fodder that we get to work with. And basically, because I'm assuming if everyone here came for this specific theme, or maybe you just happened to pop in this morning, is anyone unfamiliar with the term shadow work or the shadow? Everyone's familiar. Amazing. Great. Has anyone else experienced patterns in their life where they're like, whoa, I don't like this, but if I don't actually look at this theme that keeps happening, it's gonna keep happening? Does anyone else have relationships in their life that have this cycling pattern because the root was never healed, right? Yeah, because what's underneath hasn't fully been integrated yet. The shadow isn't meant, and oftentimes we don't even take into account, it's not just it's not just shadow, like being jealous of someone, or being angry, or being envious, or being fearful, or controlling, or manipulation, inconsiderate. We always think about that with the shadow. But the flip side of that is the light qualities that we have, right? Like, I'm sure I'm not the only person that's pedestalized people, that have put people like, oh my gosh, they're so cool, they're so amazing, I'm fangirling right now, or whatever it might be, right? It's two sides of the same coin. Your nervous system is doing the exact same thing, but right now it's creating a separation to say, oh, I'm not good enough because they are this and it's not me. And that's a shadow too, right? So you're like, oh my gosh, this person, I love how magnetic they are. I love how charismatic or vivacious. But we're that too. And so sometimes it's also really, really helpful to understand and to look at, where am I even consciously making those separations with people in my life? Because that's another really great place. I will get to questions, I promise, very soon. So please hold that, both of you. And so triggers, great emotional responses. Projections, so freaking amazing. All of these things within ourselves, they are just here to recalibrate, and they're just here to help us see and to help us understand. The other thing with that is, okay, so we've gotten to talk a little bit more about the shadow and a little bit more about mirroring. And now I want to bring it, so less about Carl Jung, psychology, and now we can bring in a little bit of quantum physics, because there's actually that side of it that we get to look at as well, which is so cool, right? Because it's not just, oh, we're stuck and we don't know what to do. No, there's actually, if you understand these simple principles, for me, as long as I understand something, I'm like, okay, great, now there's a way forward. There's absolutely a way forward. And the first one that I want to just share is, if anyone has understood or has heard of the term, the observer effect in quantum physics, it's basically there are particles exist in all these different potentialities, all these different timelines, if you will, but if we use physics, all these different potentials that exist. And the moment your consciousness locks into one of these realities, it influences the outcome. And so as opposed to the realities being endless, when we focus in on this one, all of the energy then, because we're all just energy, right? Matter and energy, it focuses in, and then it starts to create a ripple effect out with this specific outcome. And when we take that now to look within ourselves, to truly understand, you're a mirror for me, you're a mirror for me, you're a mirror for me, it's because, so internally, our whole external life is dictated based off of our internal expectations, beliefs, and assumptions. And not the ones that like, oh, I think, just using this as an example, like, I think I'm pretty smart. No. It's not the conscious beliefs. It's really, really not. We think that we can just affirm our way out of anything. But if your subconscious is really vibrating, and thoughts are frequency, right? Your energy, this whole body is frequency. It's all just vibrating. And if the state is vibrating at a current such as, I'm not worthy, no matter what you do in this lifetime with the thoughts, it doesn't matter, because you will still call in experiences. You're still going to call in mirrors that will give you the opportunity to heal that. And so I am so grateful for all of the really, I was just sitting with it this morning. I think that's a part of what I wanted to talk about. But I'm like, I am so grateful for all of the relationships I have ever been in and I've had. They have taught me a lot, and they were all opportunities for me to heal some really, really, really deep trauma and wounding, and I just wasn't aware of it at the time. And so it was the minute that I started noticing, okay, I didn't heal this one, so these patterns got pushed into this relationship, into this one, into this one, into this one, until it was the moment where the subconscious started actually, because of different subconscious work and also nervous system work, to feel safe enough to step in and to hold this reality. For me, is when those bigger shifts actually started to happen. Because now the subconscious wasn't like, oh my God, choose me. Oh, let me just completely be a chameleon and change everything about me, whether it's a boss, completely abandoning my needs, not speaking my truth, even though what was happening was not okay. Whether it was a relationship, whether it was a friendship, whether it was my mother. I stopped doing that because I legitimately started to heal and to rewire all of those I'm sure there are still many, many more, but the big ones I did a lot of work with. And because our external reality, right, is that projection, it's what we expect to happen, my external reality started shifting pretty immediately. I kid you not. I have done specific sessions of brain spotting with myself where I will be, let's say, working with speaking or using my voice, and the next day, I kid you not, I've had the opportunity where I had it mirrored back to me of my gifts and the opportunity for me to either do what I'm really scared internally to do, or to step into what I know I'm meant to and to feel safe. And so all these different, the different mirrors all around us, I like to think of them and invite people to think of them like opportunities, because they are either a mirror of your subconscious beliefs, right? Like wounding attracts wounding. We've all had those circumstances. We've all had those situations occur in our lives. It is a reflection of our own frequency, right? Getting mirrored back to us, who we are, what we believe, or it is a catalyst for our healing. And it's a catalyst for our expansion, right? It's the opportunity. And then we get to choose, are we gonna take it? Or are we not? Are we gonna do what we've always done? Or are we going to do what might feel a little unsettling, a little unsafe to our nervous system, and then step in to this other new reality that we're also creating at the same time? And so those pieces, like repeating patterns in your life, repeating experiences, repeating opportunities, maybe just noticing what within you, just like when we started this morning, okay, getting really triggered and really activated about this person or this situation, because it doesn't have to be a person. I'm guessing if you're getting triggered by it, it's also an experience that's probably been mirrored back to you a few different times in your life. And then it's the opportunity of how can I go deeper and deeper into my subconscious to basically uproot it, to start to heal it, and to start to integrate it. Because it's only then when we truly start to integrate things on that subconscious, those core belief layers that are our natural frequency. Right? Like, I'm not a huge fan of hearing terms like, high vibe. However, though, when people truly have done, like, we've all been around those people who have done a substantial amount of work to heal and to clear their subconscious, to clear their trauma, where these triggers don't actually affect them. That actually makes just like David Hawkins' Hertz frequency scale, your frequency naturally will start to vibrate at a higher level consistently. And of course it's gonna dip back down, because it always does. We're human. And though you've done the work to clear it, and so now it's a new baseline. It's getting used to this new baseline. It's feeling safe with this new baseline. Yeah, and the last quote that I wanted to share, it's like a single line, but it's been really impactful for me. And it's Rumi's, "The wound is the place where the light enters you." We can bypass all we want to, right? We can say like, oh, this was you, like, this is on you, you triggered me. Yeah, no, that's not how it works. It's actually diving headfirst into the places that it once felt scary, into the places where we don't want to go, because it's only then that we're able to disentangle all of this to then create that internal frequency shift, which then, that internal light, and which then, once that actually does start to happen, we get new mirrors, probably mirrors that are reflecting back to you who you are right now at this moment in time, and not who you were in the past. Because what we also know with quantum physics is the reality, the realities we're living right now, they all happen because of past thoughts, past beliefs. Who we essentially were in the past created who we are today. And so everything that you do today is making a difference. It's shifting and it's shaping your future you. And so again, what are you choosing today to fully embody and step into alignment with this version of you? So, I know there were a couple of questions. Did you, or a thought, or, what was your question?
Just a couple of thoughts. I think of two situations where I really don't see a mirror, but maybe a teacher.
Yeah, totally.
For example, one is this. Let's say you have some friends who are always late to something. And one thing you can do, you don't have to accept that. You can just say, okay, after half an hour, I'm done. So that you are not a victim of that situation.
Absolutely.
I'll be here in 30 minutes. If you can't make it, I'm out of
But what would that be? That would be claiming your self-worth and your boundary. And so that's a lesson. That's not, yes, it's a mirror, but it's, are you going to claim this version of you, or are you not?
Are you going to take responsibility
For you. Exactly.
And then another situation that I thought that my partner had a lot is she was abused quite a bit by her sisters. And the abuse kept happening in her job and so on until she finally said, I will take none of this. And she actually walked out of a job. And if anybody starts abusing her, they're out of her life.
Yeah.
So you don't have to take abuse. You know, if there's somebody who's abusive to you and after you explain to them and they continue, well, you're out of here.
And that's also really multifaceted too,
so
because
you have a choice of not taking abuse.
you do, and you're typically with abuse, and I don't want to get into this because I've done trauma trainings, but I'm not an expert in that realm. But what I know to be true is with abuse, your brain gets rewired and your nervous system gets rewired. And so even though you think you have a choice, until you've done work to allow safety and to allow this other reality to be, you don't necessarily have your brain's full cognition of a choice and your body's full cognition of a choice. And so I just want to open it up to it being a yes and, if that makes sense.
That you don't want that situation. You know, if somebody starts doing that and you warn them, then if they keep doing it, you're out of my life or I'm out of the situation.
Yeah, but there's also, right, the root of where did that come from? And until the root gets resolved, which it sounds like your partner did some work to resolve and to work with the root, and that's why they were able to make the choice of like, no, this isn't aligned anymore.
Yeah, no, this is not
right? But I'm guessing there was some subconscious work that happened first.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Did you have a question too?
I just realized that, I think one thing also, I guess that abuse situation, it's not necessarily like, not taking it, about not being it, but also about not tolerating enablement of abuse. Like, for example, the thing that you see, for example, abuse going on, maybe just say that it doesn't know that you should not remain silent, you should speak up and voice that as an activist in the situation that's going on, because otherwise silence enables the injustice to proliferate in the area too. You also have to do that, but also, if you are silent, that must be something you're looking at too. What's driving your silence? What's driving your complicity in this abuse cycle? This is scary.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that, absolutely. Yeah. So maybe moving past that, was there anything else that was maybe coming up out of the realm of abuse that was maybe coming up for anyone else here, even with the meditation or with, yeah.
I have an interesting experience about related to what we speak.
Yeah.
So I was working one place. It's like it was very sad place. Sad.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, my language. And I start become very scared.
Mm-hmm.
Human. So then I started to think about and start to act. And I was thinking, whatever happens with me, I will use this opportunity to turn coin and create something positive, good negative.
Yeah.
And I did it a lot.
Yeah.
After it was hard, very hard for me as a human. I was crying, but I act and I look at the bar situation like I am observed what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I turn this negative, very negative situation around into positive. And actually what I did, I used my ego energy to create something better for whole place, for other people.
Yeah.
And even I leave this place. After I leave this place, they kick me out. Of course. So I think about it's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so proud of myself in a good way, not ego way, good way. That I've done so much and people continue to do it. I activate inside them water, life water, and they done a lot after me.
Mm-hmm.
It's a huge situation. So this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And it was very fun after. I'm crying after, I'm fighting. After a while, I was so feel good about everything.
Yeah.
Not just for myself, for other people.
Absolutely.
It's about we have experienced 3D dimension place here in the earth.
Yeah.
Because our 3D place, we are in the roots.
Mm-hmm.
Dimension. And the root is very important for following the earth.
Mm-hmm.
Geo's life, and we are the roots. Very important for whole the leg, just people following the earth. This is kind of turn negative to positive.
Absolutely.
Build down very good energy for following the earth. This is what our body here.
And exactly like what you were talking, to be able to build that capacity within ourselves, all of the work that I just talked about, it's actually going to those places to upend those specific frequencies. Is anyone not familiar with David Hertz's frequency scale? A few people, okay, amazing. So, oh my God, was he a physicist? I'm so sorry, I don't quite remember. But basically, there is a frequency scale, 0 to, 700? I believe. And so basically everything under 200 hertz, 200 and under, 200 is it courage? I want to say. Feelings, emotions, they all vibrate. And emotions like apathy, grief, fear, anger, all of those things vibrate at a frequency that's really slow. It's a really slow frequency. It can feel really dead. It can feel really lethargic. And it's all under 200. And so basically once you get to 200, courage, what does it take to work with these places within our subconscious? It takes courage. And so your natural frequency literally starts to rewire to at least 200. Because all it takes is that courage, and then neutrality is above courage. And so those places, right, like, yes, it could be someone is really vivacious, resolving what is underneath that for you. But oftentimes, it is more of like, at least for me, it makes my body do this, of like, oh, it feels really gross and I don't want to look at this. Well, that's typically the ones. Those are typically the things in our subconscious for us to start to look at, because it will innately disentangle those lower energies, frequencies, and then you'll start sustainably, your energy starts to vibrate consistently on a higher level. And then the more you do, literally, it's not about going up. You have to go in and down first, into the subconscious first, to then start succinctly and consistently starting to vibrate, which our frequency does, at these slightly higher and higher levels. That's essentially where people get the, oh, vibrating higher. Well, sure. And it actually comes from a place within science. It's science and psychology that happens from. And then the more we get to do it, right, because our own energies don't just impact us, they impact everyone around us. And so then, when our energy does start to consistently rise and stabilize, we then get to energetically impact everyone around us, just like, or not like, but similar to what you were talking about and saying. Yeah. So before I am, does anyone, there's time for one more question or one more really quick thought. Sure.
So I've been watching these patterns as well.
Yeah.
If I'm trying to follow these back to their origin points, but that can be past lives. Like that.
100%.
Yeah, it's kind of overwhelming and kind of encouraging at the same time.
So you were saying that some of these patterns you think are coming from your past lives. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's kind of sickening in a way that people, how much baggage you got carried into this. But I'm saying, at least I know this, I can deal with it, man. I can start to heal that now. I mean, how many other lives didn't I do that?
100%. And you're getting the opportunity in this life. And that's the same for all of them. I mean, whether you might believe in past lives, you might not. If you do believe in it, I also believe that those things have been carried over. And so sometimes we can subconsciously go to that past life to heal it in this life as well. Gary, could you play the second or the third meditation song quick? I just want to, can you play the second or the third meditation song?
Yeah, you have about 5 minutes left. So.
Perfect. Okay, so I just want to do one more little quick exercise before we close. And so in your own time, maybe taking up whatever space you want to take up, feeling your whole body here, your whole energy here in this moment. And in your own time, again, if it feels okay, letting the eyes close down. Feeling with this next inhalation, maybe even your heart expanding. Shoulders opening, feeling really solid, sturdy. In you, in your energy. And this time, I want you to imagine, with your next inhalation, that there is a mirror in front of you. And instead of seeing that person or the experience from the beginning, I want to invite you to see your own face and your own reflection. Taking in you. Letting yourself see you in all of your wholeness, in all of your truth, in all of your imperfectly perfectness and self. Noticing that you are not pieces, you're not fractured. You are whole. allowing yourself to be in this reality. And recognizing every mirror, every trigger, every person, relationship, experience, opportunity, they have all just been mirrors showing you the way home to you. And let that land. Maybe breathing that in. And again, if it feels okay, giving gratitude and giving thanks. Thank you so much. Thank you for showing me this piece of me. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you for illuminating it. Thank you for being my guide, my mentor. Thank you for helping bring me back to me. Let's take one more cycle of breath here, breathing this in. Maybe even saying anything else you would like to say to this version of you in the mirror, or hearing whatever this version in the mirror has to say to you. And breathing this in. And maybe even saying thank you to you. And in your own time, maybe taking another nice big deep breath and coming back to the space. Yeah. Thank you guys. Thank you all so much. If you have any questions, or thoughts or things that came in, I'll be here after. I have some cards over here. I have a newsletter list as well. And then I did bring I created an astrology oracle deck. So if you wanted to check that out, it's right here. But yeah, thank you all so much. And I know Gary is gonna take it from here.
Thank you, Allie. And they'll be passing around a basket for the offering now. We'll play a little music, and then after we'll circle up, and Allie will have some closing thoughts.
Oh shit. I don't even.
Change for once in my life. It's gonna be real good. Gonna make a difference. Gonna make it right. And as I turn up the collarbone, my favorite in the cold, this wind is blowing my mind. I see the kids in the street are not enough to eat. Who am I to be blind, pretending not to see their needs? Somebody's drag eye, somebody's broken heart in a one-man's soul. And they followed a pattern on a wind to know. And 'cause I got no place to go, and so I want you to know I'm starting with the man in the mirror, and I'm asking him to change his ways. And no message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make that change. And na-na-na.
I'm going to do a long distance blessing from up here, if everybody will help them bless it. God's perfect love flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I am. Thank you. Thank you, ladies. And if you want to circle up now, it'll probably be a fairly small circle there, but just get in between the chairs.
Just like do this. Okay, so as we circle up, can we like move it in all the ways? Can we actually do something else? Can we take both of our hands and can we place them on the other person's backside of their heart? And do you guys want to, can we loop it around so we close the circle? This way? Oh. Yep. So Ruben. No. Ruben. Please. Perfect. So can we make it small enough that we can put our hands on the back sides of each other's, essentially their heart? And hey, Gary, can you start the music? Oh, hey, Gary, could you start the music? No, it's the last song. It's called Brand New. Hold, please. Sorry. All right, so just taking a moment here. Yeah. All right. So taking a moment, let's all exhale in our own time. And then if you can imagine breathing into your own heart space right now at the next inhalation. As you exhale, can you imagine the exhale, the energy getting sent through your hands into the heart of the person next to you? With your next inhalation, can you imagine energy, light vibrating at the back of their heart in your hand, starting from your heart? And with the next exhalation, this energy travels all the way around, as much as you can, around the circle, as we feel connected with the light of each other. In your own time, maybe opening up the eyes and looking your neighbor to the left and so there'll be one neighbor, and then in the eyes, and then looking the other neighbor in the eyes, and then maybe making a little bit of eye contact with everyone, or just heart contact. If it's not eye contact, feeling the energy of each other's hearts. And let's take one more inhalation here. All together, holding the breath at the very top. Exhaling in your own time. And thank you guys so much. I hope you all have beautiful